And we are ready to do the final review of this little series. It is Sunspot. I almost said Sunstorm, but he is not a Seeker. This was a very popular mold from Revenge of the Fallen. I'm pretty sure it was used 4 times. And I did have the option of buying the original red and black one, but I really just love these colors. He almost looks like he should be an Autobot in these colors, but he is still a Decepticon. Now, Sunstorm is some kind of stealth drone plane, which is cool. I like it. This is an incredibly awesome little drone plane toy. I love the Cyclops eye, which is its camera. I love the jet intakes over this mono wing design. And the way the robot cable is folded up underneath makes sense. I mean, yeah, we got another plane with a folded up robot on the bottom, but look at that. Like, there's no obvious, like, these are arms, these are legs, here's the torso. When you compare it to a lot of jet transformers that get made today, like this, like, when you look at the robot cable underneath, it's so obvious, you know? So, like, I would rather have a little bit more of an intricate transformation that actually does a job of hiding the robot kibble somewhat or integrating it into the plane mode rather than just having torso and arms sticking out from underneath the back of a plane, you know? And this guy was famous for having an interesting little gimmick, and that is... Wow, I pegged it together so well when I transformed it. Ah, there we go. And that is that he has some kind of capturing bird mode. He has spring-loaded toes that keep his feet closed, and it means that you can fold his feet out and have him actually stand like a bird. So he has an intentional Gerwalk mode. Macross fans should absolutely love this toy. Because, like, look at that. That's really cool. Like, it's a plane that has legs coming out of it. That is such a cool little gimmick. And it's such a simply applied gimmick, too. Oh, and by the way, he has some pegs here. I believe this mold was able to incorporate itself into one of the larger Transformers from the line. I think it was a stealth jet that turned into a bat-looking robot guy. But, yeah, he's still cool enough on his own, and those pegs don't really get in the way. Only problem is that since the toes are spring-loaded, as soon as you pick it up, they fold away. So, you know, like, if you wanted to have it in a pose where it's, like, reaching out with one of its feet to grab you, then it's, like... It's more like it's pointing at you aggressively. But yeah, like, I really do like this little gimmick, and I was very, very, very tempted to buy it back in the day. But I resisted back then, but, you know, it eventually got me. Alright, so let's get him transformed the rest of the way. There's little fidgety things. I don't want to do it on camera because it's not as impressive as Hound, the transformation, but it still looks really cool. Let's get him into robot mode. And this is another reason why I love this toy. This is a very beautiful robot mode. And it absolutely does not have the same kind of aesthetic problems that a lot of the Revenge of the Fallen Scouts had. This doesn't look like a skeleton with vehicle parts stuck to it. It actually does look like a plane has transformed itself into a robot. And specifically, there's an issue, full disclosure, this appeals to me on a deep subconscious level because this robot mode closely resembles a robot from a Linkin Park music video. The what was the video? I think it was Cure for the Itch or something. Like that CGI music video that had this army of robots fighting these aliens. And this guy just looks a lot like those robots. So like this makes me think of that Linkin Park music video, and that makes me happy. Unfortunately, he's a little bit hard to stand because those stupid springs in the toes want to make the feet... Like, why did they spring-load the toes? Why did they do that? If they weren't spring-loaded, they wouldn't constantly be trying to push the robot backwards, and it would be a lot easier to stand. Like, that's the fault. Like, why spring-load the toes? Like, I don't get it. Like, it's It's too difficult to get this thing to stand because of those stupid spring-loaded toes. I mean, it's not like the springs are even strong enough to allow it to grip anything. They're just strong enough to want to push the thing back when you're trying to make it stand. And this robot comes with accessories. Yes, back here, there are a couple of axes incorporated into the wing. You take them out, and it gives the wings this cool, tattered, demon-like aesthetic. And then the axes have pegs that go into holes in his hands, so he can wield the axes. And yes, axe-like weapons like this, we're also seeing that in that Linkin Park music video. So again, kind of appeals on a baser level for me. So yeah, like you can get him into some pretty cool stances. It's hard to get him standing straight, but splaying the legs out for posing, it does have a nice wide base for action-oriented posing. So I will give it that. And there was this gimmick that was going around the time, the 3mm clip system. So in addition to being able to clip it onto the pegs, you could also clip it directly onto the arm itself. I don't know, so it looks more like a hook when he's holding it that way. So there's that. And this figure is really well articulated. You can see the wings are on a ball joint and a hinge, so you can fold them around however you like them to look. Like you want to go upward, you want to go downward, you can do whatever you want. There's a nice free ball joint in the shoulder, ball jointed elbow. The wrist doesn't move, but that's kind of because it's kind of an incorporated single piece into the entire arm. Head is on a ball joint and a hinge, so it can do some turning, tilting, expressiveness. Nothing in the waist, although I do love how they actually turn the nose of the plane into his chest plate instead of just hanging it off his back like a giant piece of kibble. Maybe Windblade can learn something about that. Ball jointed hips, thigh swivel, and the knee has a big range that can go all the way back, it can go all the way the other way. Lots of range in that knee, which is kind of necessary because that foot does not like to cooperate the way it likes to fold up on itself. So yeah, like this thing can look pretty darn epic, and I'm pretty sure in the red and black color scheme it looked outright demonic. But yeah, this is kind of what makes me like this guy more as an Autobot than a Decepticon, because the gold and white gives him a very angelic appeal as opposed to the demonic appeal the red and black scheme had. But yeah, this is still a very beautiful robot mode, and this is a great Transformer. You probably, if you're as old as I am, you probably already bought one of these way back in the day, but if you're relatively new, this is a nice Transformer from the past that you can get into. I know a lot of these movie-related Scout toys were forgotten, but there were quite a few of them, including this one, which were of objectively good quality and are worth adding to your collection. So if you want to seek out a Revenge of the Fallen Sunspot or any of his mold brothers, then I would highly recommend it because it's really cool. Alright, so this has been a nice little trilogy of Transformers reviews. This is Waking Angel 2001 signing off.